office of the private courier firm at so-and-so to CBI main branch, Julu Park, shifted its focus after analyzing CCTV footage. The footage confirmed that no tampering occurred along this stretch leading to CBI to suspect Haq, who consistently provided the same response during questioning. Sources told TOI that CBI's attention turned to Oasis School, located on Mandai Road near Kalu Chowk, and its staff. The agency began gathering digital evidence and uncovered that e-rickshaw had directly to Oasis School on May 3, instead of proceeding to the CBI main branch, where it was supposed to be stored in the strong room. CBI sources said that at the school, the aluminium box was tampered with and the packet containing the question paper was removed. A glue stick was used to reseal the package containing the question paper. The Economic Offences Unit, which had been investigating the case before it handed over to the CBI, also corroborated these findings according to the sources. But allow me to skip this. Now kindly see the next page, at page 14. I'm sorry, this is page 14, and then 15 is this e-rickshaw and the principal of the school who has been arrested now for tampering with the trunk and seal, etc. Page 15. But this is the e-rickshaw. In the affidavit, they said that it is called sealed vehicle, covered and sealed vehicle, guarded, and where all sort of security. Now, this is how
students pay for the NEET exam?
Pardon?
How much does each student pay for the NEET exam? 1,700 rupees.
The reserved category was how much for the reserved category?
3,200.
1,700
For the reserved category.
general category.
1,700 for the general category. And reserved category? 0.33 lakh students into 1,700. How much does it go? Sorry?
And then they have transported these boxes in an e-rickshaw with one driver. There is no guard.
Nobody would pose with a photo to pose for to be photographed like this if these are question papers. This is a part of the process. When you hand over or take over something, you pause with the receipt, etc. This is OMR sheets, not question paper.
That's 1,700 for the general. General EWS, OBC and NCL is 1,600.
From the exam.
The expense rates.
How much do you make in terms of revenue for this?
Revenue generation. It's about 400 crores and the expenditure is about 300 crores.
Mr. Solstice, you engage a private courier company?
Lord, your lordships may allow me to show the checks.
There is no CCTV in the centers. There is no toilets in some of the
we are not on toilets. There are CCTV.
There is no CCTV.
CCTV footage is recovered I will not show when my turn comes.
All right, your third point now. What is the third point? Supplementary.
Yeah, Lord, besides this, we have placed on record 161 statements recorded by Bihar Police of the accused, which indicate that the paper was available on 4th. If I can straight away read just one statement. That statement is in my main note, dated 10th of July. Just one statement, allow me to read from there.
You are reading Anurag Yadav's statement?
I'm read, yes.
Yes, that your translation is wrong. I have got the original in Hindi.
Okay. I believe
wrong on a very crucial point.
In Hindi, I believe
Wrong on a, not alleging anything.
okay. So this statement indicates that my uncle dropped me on 4th, right? The paper leak was on 4th.
That's not a...
One statement with you.
Who gave you this? Yes, in fact, because so many people are circulating this material on social media from everywhere, but though the candidates here are less, but the anxiety on a social media and the kind of students who are affected by it, but not coming forward to file a petition before this honorable court. They are supporting all these petitions, and this kind of a material is being supplied. And not even the officers, not the other day, I had placed on record the press note of Bihar Police. The IG Police gave that press note. Now subsequently they say they have backtracked. The thing is happening in this case. So let them deny that these are not the correct. This is what they say. In the counter affidavit, they say that this is not a certified copy of 161 statement, and hence it should be discounted from the evidence.
हिंदी वाली
हिंदी वाली सर्टिफाइड
हिंदी वाली लेके हिंदी वाले स्टेटमेंट मार लेंगे सर.
Info. Bathroom, toilet. According to you, the leaked question paper was in the leaked mode on the 4th itself.
Correct. Lord, I would say 3rd because for a reason. Let me give a. As per their affidavit, they say all questions papers were deposited with the SBI and Canara Bank on 3rd of May.
Right.
And thereafter, it was taken out of the wallet of the respective banks on 5th of May, 8:15 a.m. on 5th of May.
And according to them, the leak occurred then.
No, they don't say, they are in a denial mode. Now, what I say is, if the leak has not happened during the custody of the banks, then the leak has either happened on the day of the examination or on 3rd or prior to 3rd. There is no leak between 3rd and 5th. Because the question papers remained in the custody.
Also, I mean, possibly, according to them, the leak takes place sometime on the morning of the 5th, according to them by.
Yes, they don't say.
They say that the student, what they say that the
students were made to memorize.
Memorize on the 5th
now
morning.
Now that the memorize.
One second. If the students were made, according to them, the students were made to memorize on the 5th morning. All right, according to them. If then why is the chap behind you saying no to everything that I say? We've also read our brief.
Sorry. Yeah.
According to them, the students were made to memorize. That means prior to the fifth morning, somebody had solved the question
The
papers.
whole argument. I'm so grateful.
If somebody had solved the question papers, it certainly doesn't go to the fifth morning.
Correct.
It has to go at least to the fourth night between the fourth and the fifth.
That's right.
In
And
which case the leak has occurred sometime prior to the night of the fourth and fifth.
I'm so grateful. And
So which means that their question is, when did the papers get leaked? Ultimately?
That's what I was saying.
Lord, I would say if
They are certain that leak has not happened when the question papers were in the custody of the banks. Then certainly the leak has happened on third or prior to third.
Before the questions were given to
deposit, because
before they were given to the bank.
Before they were deposited with the bank. Everywhere in the entire country, their stand is the question papers were deposited with the banks on 3rd of May. And in their custody, it remained in a wallet and no bank officials are accused and have been arrested. There is no allegation against bank officials.
By the way, in the ordinary course, before the exam, when were they supposed to leave the vaults of the bank? Exam was at 2 o'clock on
15 in the morning.
Right.
They say that the center head will go collect paper. Now, there is another systemic failure, let me point out simultaneously, like in Bahadurgarh. So the head went to both banks, SBI and Canara Bank, collected paper from both banks, whereas he should have collected paper only from one bank. And
Now tell us one thing.
Please.
There are two possibilities, distinct possibilities. One, the paper gets leaked before the questions are lodged in the custody of the Canara Bank and the State Bank of India, which means that the leak has taken place before the third.
Correct.
Third, they were all safely with State Bank and Canara Bank.
Correct.
The alternate hypothesis is that the leak takes place after they are distributed from the Canara Bank and the State Bank of India and are bound for the centers.
Listen, now, Lord, that is a remote possibility for the reasons, Lord.
Because between 8, going by their hypothesis, between 8:15 in the morning and 10:15 when the students were, according to them, given the papers,
Right.
it's very unlikely that in 2 hours the questions were solved and then
Everything, and they were made to memorize. This is
So
impossible.
the alternate hypothesis appears to be more logical, according to you.
That's
That the leak occurred even before the question papers were lodged with the
That's right.
Thanks.
Correct, Lord. That is my respectful submission.
the State Bank of India and Canara Bank.
Unless it is their case that
And
the
in
leak
which
happened
case,
when it was
the
in
leak
the
has happened between sometime before the third
Before the third.
or on or before the third. Then between the third and fifth, there's a fairly long period of time.
That's right. During the period, my lord, it was in the custody of a private courier company where they were taking it into rickshaws and here and there for days together. For days together in private hands.
It again.
So what is, since when was NTA established?
2017. It was 17. But the first NEET exam they conducted in 2019.
But 2019 onwards, the questions have always been handled by private companies or private couriers?
But in the route, en route, there are checks. And if any courier company or any employee of a courier company tampers with the vehicle in which Lord is transporting the trunks, Lord, it would be registered on a real-time basis with digital footprints. I'll be able to show. Lord,
But how is the digital footprint not available here then?
it's not the CBI has investigated that there is no tampering en route.
Why don't-
There is no tampering.
En route.
Then where does the tampering take place?
There is no the tampering has taken.
Hey, don't laugh. I mean, we are asking a serious question. We are not trying to poke fun at the argument or anything. We are trying to understand it.
No, I understand, my lord. Anyway, my lord, let us.
According to you, where does the leak take place?
So there is no leak which has taken place.
No, okay, where does the breach take place?
There is a breach which has taken place where we have the timings, we have the CCTV footage of someone going inside the particular center. That's what I wanted to show to your lordship.
So what time does that take place?
Yes, my lord, it is 9. Give me the first report. Lord, it's a part of my. One minute, between 8 to between in the morning 8 to 9:23. The person goes in, photographs the paper, and comes out. And thereafter, my lord, your lordship will find, my lord, investigation.
But 1 second. Assuming that happens between 8 and 9:20, we have to test this hypothesis in the ordinary course of things.
Yes.
According to you, the students got the question paper at about 10 o'clock, 10:15.
After 10, after it was solved.
Is it likely this questions, there are 180 questions,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Is it possible that in 45 minutes between 9:30 and 10:15, they would have problem solvers preparing the answers to 180 questions and then putting it together for the students in 45 minutes?
Lord, they got 1 hour and there were 7 solvers. I can't, my lord, divulge all this information. It's a part of my report. There were 7 solvers. They demarcated 25 questions each. And I can tell you, lordship, my lord, why they were required to memorize. Lord, if we are, all of us are sitting in one classroom, the 180 plus 20 questions would be same. But the number of the question would be
That's right, jumbled up.
shuffled.
That's right.
My question number 1 would be his question number A. So nobody can give a answer sheet ready that A answer is D, B answer is C. They will have to memorize. And so far the investigation has been able to identify 18 students, and because of this lack of time from 10 to 12, because they were asked to go back to their centers, they have to report to the
But
center.
this is also the whole hypothesis that within 45 minutes to an hour, not only was there a breach, but the entire question paper was solved in a space of 45 minutes
No,
and then
within 1
given to
hour.
the students.
Within 1 hour.
Seems to be very far-fetched. In 1 hour, all that happened.
Lord, within 1 hour, and there were 7 solvers, and 7 solvers bifurcated questions.
So according to you, the leak, the breach occurred when the
8 to a.m. in the morning to 9:23 in the morning.
It was taken out.
So the papers left the vault at 8 o'clock, 8 to
9:23. They didn't have much time, therefore.
But what time did the papers leave the vault of the State Bank of India or Canara Bank, whichever bank?
7:30, which is under the videography, we have, under the CCTV, we have recovered the footage, and there is no.
So 7:30 they leave the bank.
Yes,
After that, the paper
they
is.
bring it to the center.
What time does it reach the center?
5 minutes.
From Hazaribagh.
7:45. And since the
No, पटना में भी तो होगा ना फिर.
So still, but assuming that it was 8:02 to
we have
9:30.
evidence to show. Lord, I'll be able to show it to your lordship. And that is why, that is the reason why, because the students got only 2 hours, my lord, to memorize the questions. They'll be able to show that. Lord, out of 18 students who are identified, who are, my lord, brought at a particular place, only 1 student, Lord, is getting possible admission. My lord, of course, now he would be facing the debarment, etc. My lord. Only 1.
But there are about 225 students totally involved. 225.
No, but I cannot give the figure, but it would not cross, my lord, 150. That's our estimate. And I will be able to substantiate these facts, my lord, by the very my lord, meticulous investigation conducted.
Sure.
My lord, the person who went inside for the purpose of breaking is arrested. The
CBI second report.
my lord, I would request your lordships, my lord, to closely scrutinize the CBI appeal, status report. My lord, if your lordships can, my lord, may I request? May I request in report number 1, kindly read from para 27 onwards.
Now see report number 2.
Yes,
Report number 2.
yesterday, my lord, it was filed yesterday. Would your lordships consider?
Para 113.8 at page 13.
Second. Your lordships are on para?
Page 13, para 113.8.
Yes. The total number of candidates so and so from the are around so and so. Therefore, my lord, I said that it would not cross roughly, my lord, 150. And at every stage of the travel route,
113.8.
8, my lord?
113.8. Just read it in your mind.
Yes, the
That's
total
all.
number
That's all.
around 150.
This is your figure.
Yes. Therefore, I said my total would not cross 150. With the checks,
This is between Patna and Hazaribagh.
but no.
What is the distance between?
Lord, it is at a distance. Lord, the one gang member who was also at Hazaribagh, Lord, sent it by WhatsApp.
240.
How much? 240.
It is my 240 around. And their model is, my lord, their model is not to allow students also to take photographs because if it leaks, they have been given, kindly, this is crucial. The parents have given post-dated checks.
And started at what time?
Lord, para 50 of first report, my lord, if your lordships can see on this in this context. My lord. Page 19.
Hazaribagh से गए.
Even 15 questions.
Next request to once again go through these two reports. Their modus operandi or business model, whichever way we put it, is they ensure that the paper is not leaked and given to students whose parents have given post-dated checks over and above the advance money. So that if it leaks and spread into thousands of people, then the examination is cancelled and they will not get anything. So students were called for the purpose of memorization, were asked to keep their mobiles out. They also purchased, I don't wish to divulge much, it's mentioned there, my lord. They are in custody.
10 lakh fine.
We are not adverse to the petitioners, my lord.
The problem solvers been arrested by the CBI?
3 of them yesterday. But today also something has happened.
Doctors at AIMS, Patna.
Sorry?
Doctors, I think. Don't. Now you use medical students. Earlier you said doctors. Why are you doing this?
Doctors or medical students at Patna. Their AIMS, that is very simple.
Yesterday. I don't know what has happened today. It's an evolving situation.
Because their investigation will show us when they got the question papers. Because, I'll tell you one thing. Tell you what is worrying us is how much was the period between the time when the breach occurred and the time of the exam.
Not more
the
than
shorter it is, the less the likelihood of a widespread dissemination. If that time period is say 3 days, then obviously that there's a greater danger if that time period is say about 4 hours, then the only question is
the petition not adversarial to them.
Second,
concern is genuine.
I mean, we have to also look at it this way. Does somebody pay say 75 lakhs of rupees for 45 minutes? They go into an exam.
Not that much also.
They will not.
It's not, my lord, the figure is also not.
The question is, would they then seek to recover the
Para 105, also first report.
105, no? Maybe, my lord, because so this is post-dated check. Yes, my lord. Not meritorious. The parents underestimated. It is really not a painful thing. It is a painful thing. When we went, I can't share all this, where we went for interrogation. But some girls' engagement was going. Are considering whether it is a localized event which can be identified student-wise or it is a widespread.
Mr. Huda, tell us one thing. Is there any evidence? Or, I mean, we are conscious of your limitations also because investigation is still going on.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Investigation is still unfolding. Is there any material to indicate that a similar pattern was replicated outside Patna and Hazaribagh?
No.
Lord, there is only one instance. No. Lord, in Godhra, that OMR sheet thing, they say that the plot was that the students will leave the OMR sheets unmarked, and in the time between time for examination is over and before it is deposited, the geography lecturer, Mr. Tushar Bhatt, he will do the filling and will deposit it. The common sense suggests that he can't do it as a geography teacher unless the paper is already leaked. He has the ready answer, so that as soon as the paper is given to him, he sit down and do the
But
mark.
Godhra, ultimately nothing happened because the
But
district
they did.
magistrate, the
But
district
they did.
administration stepped in.
That they prevented it by arresting the person before he could do the needful. But the question is, there was people from different states had come to Godhra to let the machination fructify. So the people filled that center pertaining to Karnataka and all other states from the Odisha, Karnataka, etc.
How many, Godhra, how many students, just 1 second. Godhra, how many students appeared?
In total, not the students, but
But nobody is getting admission.
we can't.
Nobody is getting admission.
Your Lordship, allow me.
What has happened? What has-
Nobody is getting admission because it never went to successful fruition.
That's right.
No, what has
But tell us one thing, totally Godhra, how many centers were there? Just, we just wanted to,
I'll just follow. In the meanwhile, then what happened in Godhra?
just only,
My
just tell
learned
us
friend
what
is
happened.
right. My learned friend is right. There was a person called Tushar Bhatt. He was the center superintendent, in charge of that center. He assured students that you pay me this amount. What I will do is I'll ask the physics teacher and chemistry teacher to fill up the answer sheets. Whatever you can answer positively, you are confident, you answer. Otherwise, leave blank because
Tushar, who is Tushar Bhatt?
Tushar Bhatt is a city, he is a physics teacher.
Center superintendent.
Center superintendent, himself
As a-
is a physics teacher
No,
and he's
geography teacher. If I read correctly, it's a geography teacher.
I'll just check up.
That's what
But
we have read.
physics teacher and
He
geography.
was like the invigilator at the center. He was the invigilator at the center.
In charge of the center, but the physics.
And it is alleged that, after the students had filled in their OMR sheets,
He would get
the
three
blanks,
numbers.
the blanks would be filled in by the
Filled in by me. This information was, my lord, came to the knowledge of district magistrate and district education officer.
But this was
There-
a month before. But I had shown the email a month before this information was
So
given.
Godhra has nothing to do with the paper leak per
Paper
se.
leak, my lord. Therefore, now,
Except that what they are saying is that if the center in charge had made that representation, obviously he had the answer somewhere.
no, what he said was that they are also arrested.
But were any of the solved question papers recovered from the center in charge in Godhra?
He was not permitted, my lord, because the officers came at 2:00 on him. They sat through the exam, and in their presence, they ensured that everything is sealed and sent. So those who kept blank remained blank.
And now from totally, how many students appeared from Godhra? Totally. How many centers were there in Godhra? If you can- 2 centers in Godhra. How many total number of students in Godhra? 2513.
And how many from outside came?
I'm just going to come to 2513 in the 2 centers. Now, out of the 2513, how many come within the cutoff for 1.08 lakh seats?
How many are likely?
Around 12.
Just a second, I'll just write. Godhra, 2 centers. 2513 candidates. And how many come within that 1.08 lakh, the last cutoff?
12, my lord.
12.
12?
About 18.
18.
One center 12, another center about 6. We have given this pattern of mark distribution also. Their performance also is below average. That is that PDF page number 1016.
How many students at Godhra out of the 2,513 had come in from, who had changed their centers?
Please see, the 14 could do it. Its application was done by about 36. It was not allowed for on account of non-availability. Only 14 were allowed change of center.
Is there anyone getting out of?
No.
Out of 14, nobody is getting admission in there. 1,08,000.
Who originally applied, somebody from
Even Godhra seems to be a sort of a localized See, Godhra
issue more than Malad.
Godhra A, it never went through. In the sense that before they could do anything, there were arrests.
Yes, Lord. My submission is not that
Right.
actually the cheating has happened in Godhra, but I say the leak footprint was not confined to Patna. The
It came
paper
to
had
Godhra.
gone everywhere, and
Not
there was
everywhere. We at least now look, we take your point that there's a likelihood that the leaked answers had traveled to Godhra as well.
That's right.
But Godhra, there is one clear distinction that the students had no opportunity to put their.
But somewhere they are caught, somewhere not caught. Something
No,
is
but
noticed,
Godhra, no.
something is unnoticed.
Godhra, nothing. Godhra, there is no wrongdoing at all eventually.
Yes.
Because before they could, because the process was not the students memorizing the question, but
It was
the center in charge putting the right dots.
But Lord,
That never took place in Godhra.
Lord, here this honorable court is considering the question whether the leak has a widespread footprint or not. Now, this is one of an indicator that this Mr. Tushar Bhatt had the answers beforehand so that he can do it. So it's a possibility. A possibility cannot be ruled out that he had the sold question paper.
एंट्री भी हो सकता है ना, ये तो पकड़ा गया है बस।
Godhra,
Yes,
apart from
seven months. Even physics and chemistry teacher who were supposed to put the dots, to answer the questions, but they are also arrested.
I see.
And with Mr. Tushar Bhatt, who it's a case of cheating. He cheated the students. That you pay me 10 lakhs, I'll do this.
It's a case of malpractice, but it assumes that they had the benefit of the answer sheets.
That's right.
The solved question paper.
That's right.
Because those physics and chemistry teachers who were to fill in the blanks, they would also they will not do it on the spot. They would have the pre-prepared so
Mr. Bhatt said,
be able to manage.
Mr. Bhatt would have 3 hours before I seal the answers. So he gave it to the students or parents.
That is his representation.
That is his representation based upon which he recovered some money.
Mr. Buddha, from what we have now,
So
we have
he gave it to the students.
I
the other
will
side.
just quickly wrap
Now,
up in 10
it
minutes.
appears that Godhra, I don't think we can say is an example of a very widespread.
I have just
case.
one thing to point out.
But there is no evidence to indicate that that scheme went through. In which case, as of now, we find that there is only wrongdoing which has taken place in Hazaribagh and Patna. To postulate that, on that basis, then the only thing which we are left with are the statistics.
And
That 61 students got 720 out of 720. Out of 61 students, as we now know, 44 got it because of that award of full marks, treating both the options of a question as correct. Can we cancel an examination only on that basis?
Yes,
That's
but
the point.
let me very
Or is it something which falls short of the threshold which requires the court to cancel an
let me
entire examination?
very rapidly give me my view. A month before, admittedly, College Kaka, which I pointed out on the first date also, wrote to NTA that College Kaka is a counseling center. On 3rd of April 2024, more than a month before this exam, he indicated that this scam of OMR sheets being filled up later is going to happen. Please take care. The email is received on 3rd of April. In their response now, they say the email from the entity College Kaka subsequently has been forwarded by NTA to the appropriate concerned authority for investigation and necessary action. So this conspiracy was already a month before hatched.
Solved. Problem solved.
Comes from Babu Galini. I'll just do it.
But one more angle, this Mr. Bhatt, Tushar Bhatt, would have the question paper from 2 o'clock onwards, not after 5. One of his students can give it to him. And they would start solving it. And thereafter somebody, that was his idea of committing fraud, and therefore he started approaching parents of his knowledge.
These questions, the first one, the big. उसके चेक्स अभी तो होते हैं.
We have recovered 30 post-dated checks.
Yes, my lords wanted to know.
Rapidly, my lord, rapid.
Center was changed, which they say is pre-planned and conspiracy. Not even a single candidate has come. Actually, at that was.
My lord, the story they are giving to this honorable court that the paper was collected from Hazaribagh at 7:30 and 240 kilometer in the transit. There was a breach. And on that breach, everything happened. Paper was
I
sold.
don't think that is the case.
Well, that's not the case.
Mr. Solicitor, is it your case, Mr. Kaushik? Which was being transported from Hazaribagh?
Yes.
No, not from Hazaribagh.
Where?
It traveled to Hazaribagh to one of the gang members.
Lord, that
It
is
happened in Patna.
Lord, it's an
It's a school.
The Oasis school is in Hazaribagh, Your Lordship, right? Where this breach happened.
But the breach occurred in that Oasis school, according to you.
And we have the CCTV footage.
That
The
the school
footage
is 3rd of
before
May.
8:02 a.m., where both the trunks are like this. After 9:23, both the trunks are
And what about the Patna breach?
It is linked.
linked to Hazaribagh. On a para 50, my lord, if you are not
No, but therefore, the Hazaribagh, the leak occurred in Oasis school, according to you.
Yes.
But in Patna, how is it linked to Hazaribagh?
Because the gang was. If your lordship sees para 50 of my first report.
Lord, 3rd of May, the Hazaribagh, it reached 3rd of May.
School. To know the
दोबारा पढ़ लेंगे.
Page 19.
Chintu is Hazaribagh.
But this Chintu is Patna. Yes. And they ensured, my lord, that they purchase a new mobile with a new SIM card so that there is no further leak.
I'm not sure. 45 minutes, the whole question paper can be solved. So the primary breach occurs at Hazaribagh.
Yes.
Where the questions, the solving also takes place at Hazaribagh. It's relayed to Patna and then disseminated at 10:15. So that means between 9:30 and 10:15, the entire 180 questions were solved.
After
It is the Patna FIR. The Patna police who first launched the FIR
Can I-
at 6 o'clock. They say we were tipped off by our people by the police in Hazaribagh. We catch that man there. That man tells us that we were on the previous evening itself. We were taken to this play school and all this was memorized. And what came in the NEET exam was exactly the same. So therefore, the leak, it has reached Patna on the 4th.
No. But the
Please read the FIR. Please read the FIR. Please read the Patna FIR.
is the final copy.
The Patna FIR, the Patna police, what?
My lord, would your lordship?
It's the Patna
Where-
FIR which is crucial. And why?
a minute.
and
The case diary, do we have the case diary of the Patna police?
The Patna
We have
police
the-
has
we have recovered.
they have submitted a report.
My lord, that when is
which is an EOU report to the ministry. That report has not been placed before your lordships because the CBI takes over on the 22nd of June. Or before that, the investigation was done by Patna, by the EOU. The EOU submitted a comprehensive report which is not before your lordship. Your lordships compares that report with what the CBI has done. Many more questions will arise.
Now, let me answer questions rather than arising questions. And please don't.
Please summon that.
We are in the court, not on the screen. Please see. Para 50.
My lords, that's an unwanted thing from the Solicitor General.
Anyway, my lord, para 50 at page
And that's
90.
not.
At 10:15 a.m.
Mr. Mehta.
Anyway. At 10:15 a.m. on 5/5/24, so-and-so received NEET solved exam question paper number so-and-so. Your lordship knows, my lord, there was a burnt question paper which was found by Patna police. And burnt question paper had the center number. Question number so-and-so.
Which Kumar accesses it in OA?
This Lord, Lord, may I say something? Lord, para 51 also. One part goes at 10:35. My lord, at the outset, Mr. Hegde is a dear friend. We pull each other's legs, but this was unwarranted. But leaving it at that. Lord, half of the question, my lord, paper was received at 10:35. Your lordship would find page 21, the photograph. They burnt the question paper because they didn't want that to travel anywhere else because that was their the source of money. But a part was not fortunately recovered, which contains this 6136488. This is the center number of
Hazaribagh, how many centers were there?
5.
Just once, I'll make a note of that.
The students were also, my lord, from all over the centers. The leak is at one center, but OS is, my lord, but
Centers totally, how many students in Hazaribagh?
one. Many have by the candidates की claim. अच्छा, total candidates.
Total.
Candidates. That's list.
Five centers, 2,736. 736.
2736. Okay, तो qualify होते हैं.
How many candidates would now fall in that 1.08 lakh? How many of those 2,700 would have qualified for admission?
We will.
Because we see.
One thing is clear, they are not in the first. Lord, kindly see, my lord, report of the IIT Madras.
That we got 56,000 are for the government medical colleges, the rest will be.
Hazaribagh or Patna, my lord, doesn't find place there. So possibly,
Let's,
very few would be, my lord, selected.
how, in the 1.08 lakh candidates, how many? We want to now see, because admittedly there has been a breach at Hazaribagh and Patna.
It's from all 5 centers, those who would be able to qualify are around 80 only.
1.8.
80. यहाँ से देखना पड़ता है से
How many centers in
I'll give you one.
But in first 60,000, earlier, in first 60,000, 60, in 2023, Patna had 199 students. I'm reading from the report of the IIT. Now it has come down to 1561 students. First 60,000. Thereafter, my lord, I'll.
Now this time Patna, how many centers were there? 7 centers. There seems to be.
Yeah.
12 centers.
12 centers. And totally how many candidates?
I'll give you exact.
कंटिन्यू करना है
यहाँ पे नहीं, वो तो फर्स्ट 100, लेकिन फर्स्ट those who will be qualified.
continue on Monday at 10:30, so that we'll take this before we take our, so by lunch we would have concluded the matter on Monday. So we would like to have a copy of the Bihar police report. If that can be circulated.
EOU. Now there are two. One is local police. Thereafter it was transferred to EOU. I'll place both.
Oh, let both be placed, and if they can supply us.
So we'll take it up on Monday at 10:30, and we'll do our miscellaneous board Monday post lunch. By hopefully we'll finish this by lunch.
I think, my lord, Advocate Darbara here. I have like two requests, my lord.
The counseling can be stayed because the counseling they have slated.
Counseling takes 3-4 months. But
If we do it after 2 days, basically.
we dare to declare counseling, my lord, and it would start from
Yes, sir. Okay.
24th of July or something. My lord, I must bring it to your lordship's notice. It cannot happen, my lord.
We are taking it on Monday itself. We are now taking it on Monday itself.
Please, sir.
Lord, may consider declaration of the result because not entire data what they are talking about we can't really corroborate it
Until
if they can only
From the last
I
time.
will satisfy lordships. No examination declares because this is individual's personal property. My lord, it's
UPSC does it.
UPSC also does not. UPSC does not. I'll satisfy.
Why not they?
My learned friend appears for you.
But what if you declare put the results minus the names with only the roll numbers?
Yes, my lord, roll number center.
I'll my lord, just
number
check
and
up.
center.
Sorry? Center and the roll numbers.
But I would sit with them and examine. But now, my lord, what exercise, my lord, my learned friend wants your lordships to.
Or you can even do this. You can have masked roll numbers, so that no identity of a student is disclosed.
Yes.
So you can have masked roll numbers in the sense you can have dummy roll numbers, but in a sequence,
In a sequence and center
wise.
That's it. So that we are also able to Lord, apply our mind and maybe assess this honorable court better.
You can mask the center also. Yes, the center is not center and roll number. The identity of the student. My lord, there is one.
It has been submitted that it would be appropriate to direct the National Testing Agency. We have heard Mr. Huda, Learned Senior Counsel, appearing on behalf of the petitioners. Full stop. However, during the course of the discussion in open court, we've also had the benefit of brief interjections by counsel on both sides, including by Mr. Tushar Mehta, Learned Solicitor General, and Mr. Kaushik, Learned Senior Counsel, appearing on behalf of the NTA. Full stop. The petitioners have submitted.
No, my lord, I am yet to be argued, my lord.
Yeah. The petitioners have submitted that it would be appropriate if the result of the UGC of the UG 2024 NEET examination is published on the website by NTA so as to bring about some transparency on the center-wise marks obtained by candidates.
No, center then are identified.
Sorry?
Center and number will be masked.
Without center,
in each center there are 5,000 people.
Lord, keep it.
In the center there will be 5,000 people.
We direct NTA to publish the marks obtained by students in the UG NEET 2024 examination, while at the same time ensuring that the identity of the students is masked to preserve.
Identity at the center. We make it pretty.
And identity of the students.
Something to say. Yes, sir.
Center, please let them. You see, because that's the basis on which they may be able to perform.
They have analyzed
some
center.
trends, etc. If they can't, they fail. But at least there's a sense of.
We are undertaking an exercise, my lord, from the reverse. That now let us see whether there is any, without any material. They have not shown any material of any material.
See, what is happening actually, Mr. Solicitor, what is happening is this. In fact, the reason why we were engaging in a very detailed line of inquiry is because the fact that there was a leak, at least in Patna and Hazaribagh now is.
Leak, the theft.
Yeah, but But there was a leak in the sense that there was a
Leak.
the question papers. The question papers had been disseminated before the exam. That is undoubted. Question which we are now wanting to consider is whether this was only confined to these centers, in which case there's no question of a retest, or whether this was more widespread. Now, the students have a certain degree of handicap because they would never have the kind of data which is necessary to prove.
Data goes to the coaching centers, and there are several problems. This is not just students we are dealing with.
No, that's right. There's no difficulty. Therefore, we are not saying that you publish we want the students' identity to be masked because we don't want students to be approached. You can have dummy roll numbers, but in a series for those students, so that no student's identity can be diverged.
That is sufficient
But-
safeguarding.
But let us see center-wise what was the mark pattern.
Yes, that's right.
At the end of it,
It's a data point.
at the end of it, Mr. Kaushik, even if they fail, we will have the satisfaction, they will have the satisfaction of having done their duty.
That's right.
But if the data does reveal something which has not appeared to us as laypersons, as judges, they will assist us at least.
We are so grateful. Say, let me discuss. If there is no difficulty, the losses will not.
That is the difficulty.
Ensure that is perfect.
But investigation is concealed from us. The result is concealed.
The result should be the result should be declared in relation to each center separately.
But we fix a time because ultimately they don't. If
This
they declare
exercise
it
may
on-
be done. This exercise shall be done.
Kindly have sensitivity. So there are reasons. I don't
Let it be.
argue that. They don't wish to argue.
My lords, they have declared top 100 everything. Data-wise.
Yes,
They have given it to IIT Madras, my lord. They have given their analysis.
Madras, but we have given because they are not private.
City and center wise. This city and center.
My lord, your lordship,
This may, we will say that this may be, the results will be uploaded by 5 p.m. On tomorrow, on Friday.
Great.
Let them have an opportunity to, at the end of it, we'll see what to do.
the center wise can be deferred till.
No, let it be done. Otherwise, we have to see the end of the matter by Monday. Let them, so yes, Mr. Venkataraman.
Let's kindly make it day after tomorrow. It was 24 lakhs minutes. It will take time to compile in that manner. Day after
Click of a button that you can get.
They have data already.
By Saturday, 12 noon.
My lord, there is a great urgency, my lord. It's not about NEET. It's about, my lord, MSME. And my lord, High Court pass an order in the morning, my lord.
Email.
No, my lord,
Our batch.
Circulate an email. That's what we do to everyone.
My lords, if I may mention an intervention in the current matter, please, Vanshika Yadav, sir.
Who's mentioning?
Me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we submitted our document on 16th morning. For some reason, it did not show in listing. This represents students from MP, from rural backgrounds and backward classes who have gone through great hardship to go through their NEET exam.
You don't want a repeat, right? Or you don't
We
want a
just
retest.
want that whatever decision comes, we seek an interim relief, my lords, that if a retest is ordered, in case a provisional counseling can be provided, that would be great. If a retest for any
Very
reason
premature
ordered,
at this stage. Very
some sort of
premature.
exemption
We are-
may be made, sir.
We are in the course of hearing the matter. We haven't formed an
Sir, so if the application may be kindly taken on record, I'll be very obliged.
application. You mean your petition?
The intervention application, sir, we filed it on 16th itself. However, it has not shown on record.
Yes, it's not difficult.
Obliged, sir.
Yes, Mr. Venkataraman.
Third batch is listed
Sorry?
today. Income tax part third batch.
Income tax, we will take it on Tuesday.
Lord, my only request, your lordship can take it, but there's a battery of councils to argue that side also. Will your lordship kindly hear, because being a part third, we are not able to go to any other court also, not able to do work here. You're really stranded.
Tuesday morning, Mr. Venkataraman.
That's first matter and us first.
Yes, yes,
That's the
yeah.
only request, my lord, because
Absolutely.
it is
But-
always listed first but goes last.
Actually, throughout my career, I have followed the practice. Overnight part third comes first on board. But this matter.
I understand. Well, if there's a time constraint, your lordship can even adjourn it, but we're not going to anywhere. That's a difficulty. We have to say that.
Tax matter first. Tuesday go first on board.
Like qualifying for getting admission and are within 1,08,000, which is the total number of medical seats.
14. And let's 12